All right, what we're going to do is take a look at the Flippity flashcards here. We're going to make dynamic multiplication fact cards. All right, and I've made a copy of the template, and here it is. All right, and right off the bat, let's just get rid of all of this content. We don't need that. And I'm going to add a column to the right here. You can do that as long as you don't mess with this text. So if I right click and go to insert one to the right, I want to make another one. So just press Control Y to duplicate that. And then I'm going to make another sheet at the bottom, and let's call that math facts. You can call that whatever you want. And I'm going to put some titles in here. So fact family, and then min multiplier and max multiplier. So let's suppose we want to work on the 4 times tables. And I want to have the kids take 4 times any number between 0 and 10. All right, so that's what these values are. 4 times anything between 0 and 10, including 0 and 10. What I'm going to do over here in E3 is I'm going to say, you know what, let's pull in that number 4, whatever it is. All right, and then over here, I want to pick a random number between 0 and 10. So that function is equals rand between, left parenthesis. What number is the min or the low? That's this guy. And which one's the max or the high? That's this one. And I'm going to close my parentheses and press enter. Okay, so there's 4 times 1. What we need to do now is get the front of this flashcard to say 4 times 1. And that's pretty straightforward. We will do equals this value. And then you have to get a multiplication symbol in here. The way I do this, I'll do a quote, an ampersand, quote, and now you got to get the multiplication symbol in there. Some people use an X. I prefer to just search for the multiplication symbol, which is this. It's not an X. It's a little bit different. I'm going to copy that to my clipboard. I'm going to paste. I'm going to close my quote and close my ampersand. And then I'm going to select this number. So that should say 4 times. Well, now I said 4 times 3 because when you use rand between, every time you make a change on a Google Sheet, it updates it and changes it. So these values are going to keep changing over and over again, which is fine. On the back of this flashcard, I want that to be the product. So that simply equals 4 times 3. And this will probably change again once I press enter. And it did. It's 4 times 10, but it doesn't matter because that's what 4 times 10 is 40. So we want to make more flashcards than just one, obviously. So in this function, if I use the fill handle and bring this down, it'll change A2 to A3, A4, A5. We don't want that to happen because we want it to stay on cell A2 here on the math facts sheet. We want it to stay on the number 4. So we're going to use a dollar sign there in front of the number 2 to make that absolute and not change. And we're going to do the same thing over here in front of both of these 2's. I want to put a dollar sign. All right, now I can highlight both of these, use my fill handle to bring this down, and we'll bring it down far enough to this red card color. All right. Now over here, I do want these values to change. I want the formulas to change based on the different row for columns E and F. So I'm going to pull those down. All right, and you should be able to see that 4 times 8 does equal 32. And if I go to my math facts and all of a sudden I want to practice my 5s and press enter, now I have all 5s and the products are the same. All right, they work out. Let's go to publish this to the web to see what the flashcards look like. Now there is a downside to this. The downside is that when you do matching, all right, so here are my flashcards. The downside is matching. 5 times 8 was created twice here, but only 40, like if I click on this 5 times 8 and this 40, it's saying it's wrong, even though it is correct, because this 5 times 8 matches this 40. All right, so that's a downside. Keep that in mind. All right, another thing you could do with this instead, if you don't want these random ones and you want that matching piece to work, what you could do is, let's get out of here. We don't need these at all. You can just keep those there if you want to. Actually, you know what? Let's delete this stuff. And what I'll do is, let's suppose we want to work on our 1 times tables. I'm going to put the number 1 here, and I'm going to do equals this cell But I always want to be practicing the ones, so I'm going to put a $sign in there to make it always equal to the number 1, and I'm going to pull that down. And then over here, I want to practice 1 times 0, 1 times 1, all the way down to 1 times 10. All right, just grab both of those, pull that down. All right, and then we're going to make multiplication tables out of that. So let's go back over to my demo sheet. A whole bunch of errors in here. That's fine. Let's get rid of all that. Let's get rid of these. We don't need them anymore. And now what you could do instead is, this is actually fairly straightforward. Equals this cell, ampersand, quote, grab that multiplication symbol again, paste it, quote, ampersand, and then there's 0, and press enter. All right, and now this is equal to this times this, and press enter. Okay, we do want these to change, so I'm just going to highlight both of these and drag it down. I don't need any $signs in there, and I think that should do it. All right, now let's go back to our flashcards and refresh. And you'll see now if you do matching, actually all these problems will be listed in a row, so I would highly suggest to kids to hit the shuffle button. All right, but when you go to matching, you will see there's some blank ones in here. Hold on a second. Let's get rid of this stuff. All right, let's refresh that now. All right, now when we go to matching, you'll see that these should work. 1 times 9 is 9, and there's only one set of those then. All right. Now the nice thing about this method is this: when I go back to my math facts and I want to practice my 2's, because we made these all equal to A1, all I have to do is put the number 2 in here. They all update to a number 2, and then these follow suit. All right, so now we're working with 2's. All righty.